Here's Prescott. Just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. He caught it! Micah Parsons on the move. Micah Parsons is in! Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard. Oh, going deep. It is intercepted.
But I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now.
Prescott, touchdown. Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today. And we had an important milestone the other day when it comes to the 2023 Dallas Cowboys season. And no, it's not my birthday, which is ironically July 17th. It's the franchise tag extension deadline. This is an important deadline throughout the entire NFL because this is the last time that teams and the players that are on a franchise tag can negotiate a long-term extension. If they don't reach it by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on July 17th, that means they can't negotiate any time further until the start of next year's offseason. This is a huge point for the Cowboys because now that Tony Pollard and the Cowboys have not reached an extension, and we don't know if they even offered him an extension, Tony Pollard's playing on that franchise tag, and he's basically going to have to play for his money. But also, this is going to impact a lot of the other contracts that are done throughout this period of time, if they are done, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Before we get into it, there are two things I need to go over. The first, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the like button, show support for the channel, and on top of that, to fight against the YouTube algorithm. So thank you guys so much for that. On top of that, subscribe if you're new and hit the notification bell, especially if you're new and you want to stick around for more content as we get closer to training camp. And number two, I've officially launched a merch station. As you saw at the beginning of the video, there is an official link that's also in the card at the top right of the screen as well that you can go to take a look at the official merch station of Space Cowboy Media. Right now, I have launched a promotion. SCM12 is the discount code to get 12% off anything that's on sale on the store. Thank you guys so much for the love and support over there. And without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about these contracts because as we know, Tony Pollard doesn't appear to be getting a long-term contract moving forward from the Cowboys. So they might be in a situation where they will use him as much as they can before they let him hit the open market. It could be like a DeMarco Murray type of situation, and I'm not saying he's going to have the same level of stats that Murray had in his final year before he went out and got paid by Philadelphia, but the Cowboys could use Tony Pollard a lot more to get the most they can out of him and then let him hit the open market to get a comp pick. That's just how the business works, unfortunately. Now, the biggest thing of all is how does this impact the other contracts that are coming down the pipeline for the Cowboys? You know, Trevon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Terrence Steele, Tyler Biadasz. You know, you can even throw in Micah Parsons, but he's not eligible till next year. But there's a lot of money that the Cowboys have to consider allocating to these players. And we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And, you know, the negotiating through the media, I'm praying to God that's done and over with. We were kind of seeing that starting last year. Again, we're like, oh, here we go again. They're talking about Trevon Diggs. They're talking about Dak and all this other stuff. But I want to make it clear that they can make the money work. Just want to make that completely honest with you. They can make the money work. This is not some completely homer take. A lot of it has to deal with moving the money around. For example, you're probably going to have to give Dak Prescott an extension, and that's going to open up around $30-ish million, which you can throw at some of these players, right? On top of that, you could look to extend some other players or cut players, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of options that the Cowboys have at their disposal. And on top of that, we're not accounting for guys that might leave, retire, you name it. So, with all that being said, I think the premier free agent you need to focus on is going to be, in my opinion, Terrence Steele. you need to make sure that your tackles are on lock for the next 5-10 years. And with Terrence Steele, of course, the ACL throws people off. If you're like, how's this going to impact him on an athletic level? Is it going to affect his play? I don't think it will. He's been doing very well through what reports have been saying. And there's also some rumors that the Cowboys could be looking to give him the first extension out of the bunch. And that would be key, because you're protecting your quarterback's, two blind sides. Technically, only the left tackle's the blind side, but you know what I mean. You're giving your quarterback enough ample protection on the edge, which is what the Cowboys need to invest in. Everything in the interior, that's your choosing of what you want to do. But I'll hold that off. Moving over to Trevon Diggs, and this is where I want to make this clear why this Tony Pollard situation is very key. And this can happen to any of the players, by the way, including Lamb, including everybody else. If Tony Pollard's not getting paid, all right, whatever, running back, however you're feeling on that front office position, whatever. These players could look at, I need to play hardball to get my money. And that could ripple throughout training camp. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't have any indications from what I've been hearing that any of that's going to happen. But the Cowboys have to be careful, because number one, you don't want to have a scene started this year, especially with what you're trying to go for this year. Now, luckily, they've kept the stuff at a minimum with the negotiating through the media type of shit. But, if I'm being, truthful in how this is going, we know how the Cowboys like to negotiate. I don't think anybody is going to go into the season thinking everybody's going to get signed. We know that. It can be done, just so you know, but that's the Cowboys' discretion of how they want to go about things. My worry is we get through this year, they don't extend anybody, and then we're having like a 2019 situation all over again where you got, I got to pay this guy, I got to pay that guy, and then you let guys fall through the cracks, and then you're like, I don't know how that happened. Now, this is going to be the Cowboys' all-in push, and you're saying, Space, why are we got to talk about this now? Because I'm telling you right now, the contract shit could leak in to the locker room. It can, maybe Mike McCarthy has changed things. I'm praying to God that's the case. But I'm telling you right now, it just takes one person or two to kick off the powder keg. And so, if I'm the Cowboys, I think the two premier free agents you need to get done are Terrence Steele and Trevon Diggs. Of course, CeeDee Lamb's on there, but you at least have another year of control. Then, what does that mean for Tyler Biadasz? Well, I think with Tyler Biadasz, this is where you have to make your decision. If you elect to pay Tyler Biadasz, right, this is kind of one of those on the fence. If the deal's a good money value, perfect. And that could be between $10 million plus, because that's starting, above average starting center pay. Look at what's going on with Connor Williams over in Miami. So when we look at all these things and start adding together what's been going on, what's going to happen, this, that, and a third, the Cowboys need to tread extremely carefully. And if you do pay Tyler Biadasz, like let's say in a hypothetical situation, like how it was in 2019, you paid a couple players, right? You paid Zeke, you paid Jalen Smith, you paid Lyle. Let's say for this instance, they throw out the money. Okay, we're going to pay Terrence Steele, we're going to pay Trevon, we're going to pay Tyler, whatever the hell. That's the case, that's great for your offensive line, because now you know that you have Tyler Smith there, you have Tyler Biadasz there, you have at least Zach Martin there because he's still under contract, and then you have Terrence Steele on the far. Like, that is going to be a key thing. Now, the left guard's a question mark, but you also have rookies that are on certain deals, so that's great. Then if Trevon Diggs gets paid, you throw the money at CD, like, you're good. And then you can kind of just move around with, drafting guys and all that other stuff. Remember, the Cowboys are all about paying their own, and if they don't pay their own, it's a bit hypocritical. Just saying, Steven. And if it's about the pie, give someone, that piece of the pie, because the way I'm looking at it right now is, part of me is like, I don't really give a shit right now, because I want to see what this team can do. They're the most, how do I put this? They're the best position they've been in nearly, I would say, a decade plus at making a run. That is not me guaranteeing shit. But I'm just telling you, this contract stuff can throw things off, and I'm telling you, do not let it affect anybody else. And that's where, I was having a conversation with someone behind the scenes, and I was like, I'm really feeling like if this contract stuff goes sideways, this could really throw the Cowboys season off. But if the Cowboys were smart, you pay your dudes and you move on accordingly. And if you were like, well, we can't pay everybody this year, pay the dudes that are expiring, and then you can have those conversations next year, which I think the Cowboys might do. I think that the Cowboys will look at the players that have contracts that are expiring, get those done first, and then they'll tell you, okay, Lamb, we want to pay you, we'll pay you next year. But the thing that it bothers me is that the more you wait, the higher the price tag goes up, especially as these dudes are getting paid. I'm telling you, you want to get CD done. I'm telling you, you want to get Trevon done. You want to get all these dudes done before the price tag goes up. And that's all I got to say about this. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit a like, subscribe, notification bell. Thank you. Put a comment down below how you think about how things are going to go. And I can't wait for training camp to start. Guys, I'm not sure if there's going to be any other videos coming out. Maybe if we have a little bit more news as we get closer. But that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys in the next one.